I'm fine. I'm fine too. It is good to be here and good to listen to you.
Thank you. How is the weather today in Brazil?
It is warm, but it is a cloudy day. Yesterday we had a very hot day, but today it's cloudy. I think that it's going to rain soon. And how it is in Haifa?
Thank you for the question. It's a climate, desert climate. It's very hot and it's very dry, almost 30 degrees. And there is a forecast for Thursday that the rain might visit us. So those are very, very warm and hot days, but also dry. And we make how do you say adaptation to fit the weather. Like you have to drink certain things and eat certain things that will accommodate to this climate. So this is how it is here.
I
Question?
hope
Yes.
the rain falls soon.
Thank you.
Yes,
We pray for rain.
yes.
Any questions on your heart, Fernando, that you'd like to ask before we start?
No, wait, I'm fine. I have some questions, but I will leave for after. And I'm ready to follow. I see that we have chapter 12 of Bereshit and maybe a Zohar quote as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
I'm curious to follow
Thank
the
you. There are surprises waiting for all of us. And Rodrigo, good morning. I hope you can hear us.
Good morning, Eti. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing today?
Oh, Eti, I'm very fine and I'm very excited waiting for our classes because I love to be here and I love to talk with you and our friends about this topic. So I'm very happy and I'm ready to follow you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rodrigo. By chance, do you have an access to the whiteboard? Can you see the whiteboard
Yes, I can
today?
see Genesis. Yes, Genesis chapter 12, Bereshit, and I see a horse with a lady
Yes.
in pink,
Mm-hmm.
pink dress. Yes, and a beautiful picture. And I see I believe a quote from Sohar. I don't know,
Yes.
another test. Yes, thank you very much, Eti.
Thank you. So, who would like to volunteer reading the verses? We have 4 verses from Genesis chapter 12. Who would like to read the English text?
I can read it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So Genesis chapter 12. Now the Lord said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house into the land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and be thou a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and him that curseth thee will I curse, and thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abram went as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran.
Thank you so much. Now, in few sentences, what is the plot? What is the frame? What is happening in those verses? Shortly, in summary.
In one leg, we can see that it is a conversation between Lord and Abram, and Lord is speaking to Abram to get out of their country and the father house and leave all behind because he will show a land for him where he will make his inheritance or something.
Thank you. Thank you. What is the age, the reported, so to speak, age of Abraham in this conversation?
75.
75. So let's write it. Usually people take it, when people usually read the number 75, what do they think about Abraham? They think usually,
He's too old. He's too old.
he's too old, and 75 are what? Are might
Three
consider,
quarters.
yes?
3/4.
True,
Three.
true. So people usually, when people read the verse, and the verse says that Abraham is in Hebrew. Now I read, this is interesting because the translation is a bit different. I read, or maybe Fernando or Rodrigo, can you read please verse 4? Because so to speak, this is about the age. The Hebrew relates differently to the numbers. Can you please read verse 4 of verse Daled in Hebrew?
In English?
In Hebrew, please, because the Hebrew
In
comes differently, yes.
Okay. I can. Do you wish, Rodrigo, to read it?
Anyone who
All right.
wishes.
Please go ahead. Go ahead, Fernando. Please go
Anyone who
ahead.
wishes,
Please.
yes.
Ok. Vai a ler, Abram, Kasher, Diber, Elive, Hashem. Vai a ler, Ito, Lot, Ve'avraham, Ben, Hamesh, Shanim, Veshbein, Shana. Yes. Betzeto, Mecharim.
Excellent. The Hebrew says, Ve'avram ben 5 shanim. Abram is in 5 years and 70 years. 5 years in plural, 5 shanim, 5 years, ו70
Yes.
shana, and 70 year, singular. Usually
Yes.
when people say the 75, they think about, what usually people think when they see 75? What do they think about?
It is an elder man, and it is interesting, because it is 70 years and 5 years, right?
Yes,
Why is that, right?
yes. Because, Fernando and friends, this is not a calendaric number. If a person open his, idea, people usually read the age, and it's not a calendaric age on paper. And soon we shall see what is unfolded here as a secret. 75, we might think is an age of an elder person, maybe a grandfather, but here the reading of the Zohar is quite different. Let's see what the Zohar reads. Please remember that we can relate to each digit separately. This is what the Zohar is going to do now, to relate to every digit separately. This is Zohar Parashat Lech Lecha, and this is letter or sign 42, Membet. Immediately, Vayelech ito Lot. Immediately the verse says that Lot accompanied him or walked with him. And so says the Zohar, this is the serpent that was cursed, and the world was cursed in his or in its reason. Meaning, this is why the Zohar says that the serpent is named Lot. Because Lot means curse in the language or in the tongue of Aram, meaning in Aramic, Lot means curse. This is a completely different reading. We were reading that Lot is 45, like Adam. This is Adam in his back-to-back relation to life. This is a completely, entirely different reading. Lot, and please pay attention to the diversity of reading, because the sages of the Zohar, they penetrate the text by reading it sometimes by numerical value, sometimes reading it from different language perspective. In this perspective, Aramaic, Lot means latte. Latte means not like in Italian milk, but latte is a curse. Please pay attention. And it was the serpent that was cursed and brought curse to the world. And the serpent accompanies the soul in this life. That it is standing in front of the body to make fool of itself. Like it says in Genesis, Lafetach chatat rovetz. This is the speech to Cain. The sin is sitting at the opening, or waiting at the opening. And this is why the soul will not work or will not act according to the divine law until she will cross 13 years in this world. Because from 12 years and on, meaning upwards, the soul is awakened to work the work that she was commanded. And this is why it's written, and Abram, in Hebrew I read, Ve'avram ben chamesh shana, and Abraham is 5 years. Ve'shiv'im shana, and 70 years. 70 in little number is 7. And here we meet a lateral reading. 70 years in little number is 7. 7 plus 5 are 12. Yod bet, Yod is 10, bet is 2. In Hebrew, we don't count with digits, but with letters. So 7 plus 5 are 12. And then the soul leaves Haran, which is the place of the shells, and wakes up to walk in the work of the Lord. Is that clear, dear friends? Or shall I repeat or recite?
Oh, it is amazing. Yes, it is clear.
Now, please pay attention. Let's move to the Hebrew text and see how they arrive to this conclusion. Because what do they tell us? How do they look at this? Before we move, because there's a lot of mathematics. I'm very excited because there are a lot of secrets, mathematical secrets here waiting for us. But how do they read the 75 before we move to the text and pull more mathematics? How do they read the 70 and 5?
As 12. As 12.
As 12.
Yes,
And
the 70 in little numbers is 7 plus 5, we get 12. Number 12, yes.
And what 12 represent?
12.
Time and space.
Yes. Yes. So,
The 12 signs, maybe
yes,
the Mazal.
excellent. The Mazal, excellent. He leaves time and space. He leaves the Mazalot, the Mazal, or astrological thinking. Yes. Astronomical
Yes, and
thinking. Yes.
yes.
So, do you notice this little, how do you say, nuance? How the Zohar
Yes.
moves very, very thinly but moves into a different direction than we think, that he was a grandpa. We see in the painting Abraham with white hair. Yes? A grandpa age in our time, something like this, an elderly dude, maybe a pensioner, yeah? This is a completely different take or thinking or direction of thinking. Now,
It is not.
yes.
It is interesting because so the age is not representing something chronological, but is representing a quality. Is the one who has achieved to overcome the animal part. Because the horoscope, even the horoscope, it deals with the animals. We can see a lot of animals in the horoscope, and so we could say that he managed to overcome the situation that the lower situation, the
Yes.
place of klipots, right? The place of shells.
And then, where do they bring the word klipot? Where do they come with this term klipot, shells? The sages, they speak in a very intricate language. When usually people, when we were children, was interesting, we were sitting next to a Passover table reading the Haggadah, and there's part of that you have to eat the egg, like boiled hard egg. And the ancient people used to say, don't bring the shells of the egg. Peel it. It's not allowed to bring to the table, because they used to take it literal, the shell of the egg. But soon we shall see how does the language develop and evolves, and what do they want to tell us, and how do they dress with a lot of wisdom. They dress numbers in words. Let's move to the text and see how do they come with such a concept. First of all, it will move, 75 is the value of the word night. Laila, night, is 75. So, like Fernando says, person lives the mindset of a night, of an animal, of a beast. But now let's look into the relations between Haran as a place in us, mental place, and Abram in us. What is the relation between Abram, Haran? What does it mean when Abram leaves Haran? Haran, 258. Please check me. Is it 258?
Yes, 258, yes.
Abram with 4 letters. Now he's Abram with 4 letters. 243. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, what does it mean mathematically to take Abram from Haran? Abram leaves Haran. So what do we do?
15.
15. Yes, 15. Yes.
What happens
15.
when Abram in us leaves Haran? What comes out?
Love. Yod and Hey.
Yod and Hey. Yod and Hey. Yeah. Mochin de Gadlut, Fernando. Mochin de Gadlut.
Yes.
Yes, Abba ve'ima.
Yes.
מוחין דגדלות, אבא ואמא, או מוחין דחירות, the mind of liberty or liberated mind. Why it is so important that Abraham goes out of Haran? He gains a new mind, which is not, subtracted to time and space. Now, how do the sages, do you understand this kind of thinking?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes. Questions or thoughts, Fernando or Rodrigo, before we continue?
For now, I'm listening at you, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
I have some insights, but
Rodrigo, would you like to say something?
No, just to follow it. Thank you very much.
Now, where do they take the word klipot, that Abraham left the shells, the klipot of Haran. Where did they reach the word klipa? Klipa is a shell. Singular. External. What happens when we take the 15 and bring it into the power of itself? Meaning 15 double 15. We get 225. Please remember this number. This is a very, very important number. 225 is the value of the word shell, klipa. This is how they come when they build the text. The word klipot, the shells that I was reading, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from this. Klipa is a shell. Klipa, let's open it. This is 100. 30. 10. This is 140 plus 85.
225.
225. Like Fernando said about the animals, chazir is a pork. Chazir, what is the value of chazir, a pork? Resh is 200, Yod is 10, Chet
225, yes.
Very good.
220. Yeah.
Yes, chazir, pork, 225.
Yes.
Yes.
Klipa. This is the shell.
Nice. Yes.
Yes? But there are like laws of kashrut or not to eat. Why? Because this is external. In Weinreb writing, the pork symbolizes the extreme development. So, not to be nourished, usually why kosher comes in, not to be nourished by extreme development. There are many stories to tell about the egg, the shell of the egg, and the pork. There are many things to say, but I'm just waiting to see what you have to say about all of this.
Yeah, I was making some sums, and it is interesting because we are in the realm of qualities, right? So so I'm just thinking because it is beautiful how it fits with the idea that the storytelling itself brings, because Abraham is leaving the land of the father, and this is a movement of the gadlut, of the mature man, that listen to the Lord and make his path, and the numbers are opening and showing how this works inside of us, how to live the klipa, and because we are dealing with symbols all the time, what the pork means and what the klipa means, and you can look at any symbol and you have some grasp about the movement that is a pattern in our development, in our life.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Would you like to say something? Good morning, Venus.
Eti, first of all, thank you to sharing all of these, and of course, came to my mind a lot of things. But first of all, Eti, when you started talking about Lot, and Lot means cursed, and I was thinking that Abraham went out from Haran with his wife and his nephew, I believe is, yes. So um, I remember the image of the triangle, the Pythagorean triangle, when you have the father, the mother, and the, how can I say, not the uncle, but the five represented to Lot. I don't know if it makes sense, but Abraham could be the Av, the father, and Sarai, the mother, and then the Lot. And you mentioned that Lot means cursed, and I tried to fit this because Lot has the same value of Adam, 45,
True.
and I try to to understand. How can I say? I try to understand the meaning of the lot in this how can I say, this triangle, these three characters that because Abraham, uh, when when he goes out, he's not alone, but uh, with him he has his wife and and Lot. And so I just try to I think in this triangle and think the number 45 and try to fit these concepts in my mind. Just to share. I thinking about this, about Lot and about these three characters, three persons that lives. And I don't know if you want to say something about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I was listening to your last podcast in Portuguese first, listening to it a few times in Portuguese and then in English subtitles and with Hebrew subtitles. I was amazed. And I asked Fernando, maybe you could record the next Zohar meetings that you have on Monday for all of us, because I heard beautiful ideas from you. And I heard you mentioning this, that first there's a triangle of Abram, Sarai, and Lot. And then there's Abraham with Hay, and there's another triangle afterwards, Abraham with Hay, Sarah with Hay, and Isaac. So to speak, there are positive triangle and negative triangle. Do you see that?
Yes, I can see it, but what how can I say, what is difficult to me to understand is the meaning of Lot in this context, because well, um, there is a lot of things that he did, and he
Lot,
goes to yes, I don't know what my point is, I don't know what he could represent, if it's how can I say, a higher um, character, or if he could represent a low um,
it is,
a
yes.
part of us, one part of us more connected with the body, for example, or if he's connected with something higher, because this 45 impact my mind, and I don't know what to think regarding Lot.
First of all, thank you for your question. You know, in mathematics, we have, I don't know how to speak about it in English, but we have a number with a positive value and number with a negative value. You know, in mathematics, one
Yes,
second,
yes, I understand
you
this.
have
Yes, yes,
plus 45 or minus 45, but in
yeah,
absolute,
yeah,
it's 45. Yes.
yes,
So, just to answer your question, Lord, in a way, reflects Adam as falling from grace. Lord is an aspect of Adam, 45, who's falling from grace outside of the Garden of Eden. He drank from the wine, and he drank and he got drunk from the wine, like a person with too much wisdom and not very, or very few little good deeds, but a sense of ownership. So, Lot, again, Lot is, I would say, in this text, is a negative aspect of Adam. This is why they take the Aramaic lens and they say Lot means latte. Latte in Aramaic is curse. Also in Hebrew, Lot, it means also a veil. A veil. Lot in Hebrew means a veil. So when there's a beautiful painting and we go to exhibition, usually the painting is being covered by a veil, lot, or sculpture. And when there's an event and the artist want to show his sculpture or his painting, he removes the veil. In Hebrew we say mesir et halot, removes the lot, the veil, and then we can see the real thing. So in this case, Lot might be a curse, or a barrier, or uncorrected aspect of Adam. And there is no contradiction, because we have Adam, yes, as the best created of the infinite, human, in the potential, and we have a falling Adam, falling from grace, a person that thinks that everything belongs to him, and he, by farming data, he knows it all, like we have today. This is what people do. They farm data, they spy on each other, states, organizations, they calculate how many steps we walk, how many times we browse certain values, and so they think that they know it all. This is Adam who's falling. He's too drunk from his ability to think and to calculate, like frontal calculations. Is that clear, Rodrigo?
Yes, Etsy, and I should confess that I feel closer than Lot than Adam. How can I say, with our imperfections and our daily falls, and it's hard to feel full as a great character as Abraham or Moses, and Lot, when we see with his, how can I say, mistakes or something like that. And I believe it is easier identify ourselves with his imperfections or something like that. Is more, how can I say, human. This as you said, the Adam that fall, and so I believe we are in some aspects like Lot. I don't know if it makes sense, but his with his imperfections or his mistakes.
I would like us,
Just to me.
thank you for your question. It's very good what you say, because we were reading in the text that there's a curse, being cursed, being cursed. Let's look into the Hebrew verb of curse. Kalal. Kalal. This is 100. Those together are 60. So to curse is 160.
Yes.
Cain. I think,
Cain,
right?
very good. Cain, I own everything. Cain, I own, and the square root of 16 is 4. Or 4 and 4, matrix. So once we undressed, excuse me for saying the word undress, maybe it's not right. Once we abstract, this is more accurate, the terms of the Zohar, whether they are in Hebrew or in Aramaic, what we are able to see is pure holistic system. But in wisdom, they dress the numbers in words like curse, And so,
At,
like shells,
at, in,
yes.
in this perspective, curse could means stuck in the material world or something like that.
This is it. This
As
is
a
the meaning of curse. This is very good, very good. A person who's stuck in development, who takes development as face value or inner value, this is a curse. Excellent. This is it. It's not that somebody said, hey, you're just that. A curse when a person is stuck. Because he lives in a matrix. 4 and 4 is a closed a square. You cannot go out. And what God says to Abram, Lech lecha, and leave. Go out. Betzeto micharan. He leaves this rigid mind, the beast mind, the frontal mind to just calculate numbers, the animal mind.
Etzi.
Yes.
It's like living in a prison. Who is
Yes.
cursed is living in a prison.
Yes. 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 This is what it is. Leave this prison. That limits your thinking, your being, your well-being. Leave this prison. It is interesting. It is very, very interesting.
AT,
Yes.
I'm seeing a commentary from Venus, and I think that I have the same a question
Yes.
from what I read. Venus is saying, "Curse is a blessing." Lot, Abraham, Sarah, King David, and I was thinking about this as well because from Lot descendancy we can find King David,
True.
So I think that the idea is that even the curse, even the bad moments, and we admit that it exists. We admit that the evil is there. At least apparently, but even from this pole, if we refine it, we can find the Messiah, because from King David we can find the Messiah, the idea of my Messiah. So I'm just wondering, what do you think about this?
True. There is a saying that nothing bad comes from heaven, because if a person can see like a long range, can think in a long range, nothing is really bad. Only in a short perspective. Yes.
And since we admit that the Lot has the potential inside of him, he has the potential. He just, how can I say, his way of thinking or way of living uh, keep him in a prison, but he has the potential, and so the other generations could, how can I say, release the chain,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
And it's interesting, actually, because I read or listen in some place that if you are running from yourself, your prison will follow you. So it's not, how can I say, a physical prison, but a mindset, a way of thinking, or a way of living, a way of living, a perspective of life. This prison, this cursed, is, I believe, inside of our minds, not a physical, of course, prison. Just to mention.
Yes. And this is true. If we believe only the development and not the call of the soul, so we're living in a prison. And like you said, both of you, and also Venus says that David comes from Lot, yes, and through Lot, Adam could correct himself. Through Lot, Adam could correct his falling. basically the 70 years, because Adam supposed to live 1,000 years, but he ate from the tree of knowledge and fell. And in the falling 70 years, again, this is just a symbolic number, or subtract from his life, and he lived 930 years. This is for Adam. And those 70 years that he missed because he fell were given to David. And David lived 70 years. The 70 years that Adam missed. So you see how does it work? Adam fell from the Garden of Eden. Lot, in a way, is a version of uncorrected Adam, but even he, through the generation, from him comes the Messiah, comes David, comes the conversation. There's nothing bad with just changing perspectives all of the time. We just try to see how the sages wrote this text. How do they compose such a text? Because every word here has a meaning, and they pull this dictionary or ocean of words from the mathematics. Yes.
Just that is interesting that David, the gematria of David is 14.
True.
Is the 1 to 4, right? So, and we can see that the correction from David, and if we see that the ability of David is the psalms, it is the ability to proclaim psalms and to make music and to go to war and as well. And I was thinking that when Rodrigo asked about the triangle, Abram, Sarah, and Lot, I was thinking about Neshama, Ruach, and Nefesh, maybe a composition, because after we have this triangle with Abraham, with the letter He, and Sarah, with the letter He, and Yitzhak. So it is like a purified version or a corrected version of this first triangle. This is one thing, but if we think about the Nefesh as Lot, we can see also that Nefesh has the value of 358, if I remember. That is the same value as Messiah, or the structure. I'm sorry, not is the value, but the structure.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like what you were speaking about, the ability to go to the abstract thinking, not to the symbolic.
That is true. There are two triangles. Yes, one of still, so to speak, when the potential is in a way unleashed. So we have Abram. There's a Sarai, and there's Lot, so to speak. This is a minus. And then we have Abraham with Hay, with a vessel. And we have Sarah. And then we have Yitzhak. So to speak, this is the positive. I try to draw what you are saying. What is important is to move between perspective. There is no up in the, it's not a chord, or that how people read usually the Babylonian Talmud. There's like argument pro and against. It's not about this. It's just the ability all the time to shift, to see. Sometimes from here, sometimes from there, sometimes from the sages of the Zohar, sometimes of what we have read before, and so on. By the way, Lot lives in the Jordan Valley. According to Weinreb, Lot chose the most developed place on earth to live. The development, the extreme development. Just for a general mindset. Yes, but through Lot, after a few generations, we find Ruth and David, of course, and so on. Bethlehem, of course. Yes.
Betty, good morning.
Good
Shalom.
morning. How are you?
Good. I had a question about Abraham. You may have covered it already. What is the significance of Lot having lived 175 years? Is there potential significance to that number?
Yes. Let me reframe the question. You ask about the life of Abraham is 175. I did not hear.
Yes.
A very good question, Fernando. This is a question for you. So Shelton asked about the life of Abraham, 175. Now, remember the number. Now I will write a word in Hebrew. What is written here?
Machpelah.
Machpelah. What is Machpelah? From where do you remember the name Machpelah? Have you heard it before, Machpelah?
Yes, it is the cave where Abraham, Sarah,
Yes,
Jacob,
the patriarchs.
yes.
Patriarchs and the matriarchs and Adam and Eve according to the ancient lore.
Yes.
So we have 4 couples. There are more, but let's start with the 4 couples. Adam and Eve, Abram and Sarah, Isaac and Rebecca, and Jacob and Leah. Yes, the patriarch and the matriarch are buried in Machpelah cave in Hebron. Machpelah,
Yes.
the root letters or the stem letters are kefel, which means double. The value of Machpelah is
175.
175. Very good. Now connect between those two values. What is Machpelah and the age of Abraham? Try to connect all of those things. Please take into consideration that the 175 divides into 2 parts. 100 when Isaac was born and another 75. Please try to be creative to answer Shelton.
It is interesting that we have the Ma, right? It is the human. Yeah, I had this explanation from you, so it is. I'm not playing fair. I'm not being creative, but I can remember that you said that is the Ma, is the human, the Adam, and the Kafel is the double, right? So we have this double existence of the human.
Yes.
And And it's interesting, Eti, because we talked about the double 15, you know, not 2 times 15, but squaring the 15.
Yes, yes.
And I can remember another name of God that we can make it double. That is when we write the names of Hashem in its feeling, the name that stands for the material world, it has the number 52, right?
Yes, true.
And 52 is also 2 times 26.
True.
I'm just seeing that is when we get to the bottom of the manifestation, when we get to Malchut, everything is double, you know, like Machpelah, the double Adam, double existence. And when we get to Malchut, we have double times 26, 2 times 26.
Yes.
And we have always this day and night. You know, it is a structure of reality. We have day and night. We have the bright and the dark, and we need both in this world somehow. We need. We cannot say that the dark night is bad, you know, and the day is good. We need both to live in this world somehow. I'm just bringing that Machpelah is a cave, is a place that you have to go inside, and it is dark,
Excellent.
you know, but the patriarchs and matriarchs are there. So
Excellent. Machpelah. Yes.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Machpelah holds 4 couples. Each one of them represent the one of the letters of the tetragrammaton. We have 4 letters. In Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, in the chapters of Rabbi Eliezer, this is a book. It is written why Machpelah is called Machpelah, because it's kfula, meaning it's double. Everything is double. Fathers and mothers, patriarchs, matriarchs. We have 4 letters of the tetragrammaton. Yes. Here we have Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, parallel to Yod, to wisdom. Abram and Sarah, Abraham and Sarah are here at Binah. Isaac and Rebecca, parallel to the Vav, and Jacob and Leah, parallel to the last day. And Rachel, of course, she's the tree of knowledge, so she is on the way to Bethlehem. But this is a completely different story. But please, Machpelah, double, because in Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, we find that they are buried in couples, meaning 4 couples are buried there against the 4 letters of the tetragrammaton. And as Fernando says, it's not external place, but it is within one person.
and
Yes.
we can relate it with the manifestation as well, because Abraham bought this cave for 400 coins, if I remember well. You know, the 400 that represents the manifestation. And also the name of the place is Kriyat, I think that is Arba, the village of the 4, right?
Yes, the village of the 4, Kiryat Arba, the village of the
Yes.
4 letters. Yes, the village of the 4 letters of the 4 couples. Yes. 400 worlds. He bought the cave in 400 shekels. Yes.
This is, thank you for responding. This is interesting. I was thinking about the conversation you had with Rodrigo earlier about the curse being bound in that which is material. Thinking about the inheritance is both physical and spiritual. The physical inheritance is the material, the property, the land. But the spiritual inheritance, like the DNA that we have in our bodies, is not seen. It's microscopic. It can't be seen with the human eye. And that the spiritual inheritance is that which we have to we have to use our imagination, we have to use our ability to be still, to go within.
Thank you. I just would like us to look at the numbers. Since you mentioned the 175, we can divide the 175 into 175. So to speak, the 75 is when Abram leaves Haran, or time and space, and then he lives 100 years, of which in the 100 years laughter is being born. Laughter, Isaac is born. Again, I don't look at it in a historical lens, but in terms of symbolic thinking. He leaves the beast mind, or the prison, which is symbol or marked by 75, which is also the value of night, the darkened part in himself, the limited, and he moves to 100. 100 in 100 years, Isaac, the laughter is being born. But also 100, we write in Hebrew, me'ah, but when we rearrange the letters, this is Ama. It's a cubit. It's a measure. It is a spiritual cubit, because the 100 is a basic. Once we double it in 10, we get 1,000. Aleph and Aleph. Aleph, but also Aleph, unity. So please pay attention to all of those junctions, synapses, those bridges, those ways and paths. It is interesting. It's a very interesting roadmap.
It is amazing.
Actually, it's interesting that Isaac and Rebecca are in the cave. To me, I heard a teaching on Saturday where the rabbi made a connection with Rebecca and Abraham. Rebecca being a kind of prototype, or kind of like very similar to Abraham in terms of the way their kindness, the way they showed up in the world. And so I don't know if you've thought about the connection between specifically Rebecca and Abraham.
Rebecca and
Abraham.
It's a good question to think of. It's basically when we abstract the name Rebecca, Rivka, then we have here, this is 200, this is 100, 2 and 5, we have 307. What is 307? What those digit numbers reminds you of?
37.
37. What is 37?
It's Hevel. Hevel, yes.
Abel. Very good. Abel.
And I think it was the age of Yitzhak when he went to Mount Moriah.
Excellent.
I'm not sure.
Yes, excellent. This is a correction of very good. Excellent, 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 excellent. Yes.
Eti,
Yes.
sorry, just regarding the age of Abraham, the 175 years, and you mentioned the Machpelah, and it's interesting that we get the Ma, the 45,
Yes.
and then we have three letters. I believe with these three letters that remains, we can write Kefil, which
Kefil.
means
Yes.
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 So I don't know because Abraham, um, in this verse, God said to him that his generations and so I just see the multiplication of the man here, the descendants of Abraham. I don't know if it makes sense, but his age would represent this: the Ma, the man, the Adam, the humanity, and the multiplication of this. Another relation that I did, yes, when you put the love, the unity. I remember the Sinai also, which means the heart, the mountain. So is the man on the mountain, the
Excellent.
man, the higher man. I don't know if it makes sense,
Yes,
Eti.
it
Just
is
sharing, just
excellent.
sharing my thoughts, just sharing my thoughts. Sorry, thank
It's
you very
true.
much.
It's true. Yes, in a Machpelah, a person can experience Mount Sinai. Yes, the Ma Adam with love and unity, because Kefil, the double, has a value of 130. Yes, because whatever we experience, like Fernando and also Venus says, has a double nature. What we experience as darkness or as a curse, it's just the beginning of a new dawn or a new blessing. Everything has like a dual aspect. We're never sure. This is also why in Yom Kippur they bring like two red goats, baby goats, because one they stay not sure. The high priest Kohen Gadol doesn't know which baby goat will cover the sin, so they take twin baby goats in color and shape. One is going to the temple, to the holiness, and one is going to the desert. And he puts his hand on those billy goats because he doesn't know. We'd never know if sometimes darkness develop to a light or opposite. This is the dual or the double nature of life, because we have two eyes. We think that we see with our eyes of flesh, but we never know.
I was thinking, Eti, in terms of thinking about what Rodrigo was saying, that I noticed that oftentimes in the Bible where you see place, it also see mountain. They're kind of used interchangeably. And another question, I know it's about time to close, but I wanted to ask you because I was looking at the names of God today, and I noticed that we often say Ein Sof, but
Mhm.
is Ein Sof in the Bible? If not, in the scriptures, and if not, where does it come from? This name of God, Ein Sof.
This is later. In the Bible, we find the word light. I have to look. I'm just giving you a hunch.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, I can't hear Eti, and now just listen
Me
you,
neither.
Fernando.
Yes.
I think her voice dropped off for some reason. Maybe
Yes,
she'll have that.
Yes.
Maybe she'll
yes,
log back on.
Can you
yes,
hear? Can you hear?
Yes. Yes.
Thank
It's
you,
yes.
now.
thank you, thank
Yes.
you. The microphone. Yes, we find in the Bible the word light, or which has the value of 207, later we find in the sages' writing that the word Ein Sof, infinite, has the same value like O. I have to check it because I gave you an answer like without checking to the depths, but this is the hunch. I have to check it. The word is O. Ein Sof, I think, we find later, meaning outside of the Bible, but I have to check it. I have to be honest, I have to check it. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Auntie.
You're most welcome.
T,
Yes.
could you please say 2 or 3 words about the picture, because it's a very beautiful picture
Yes.
that you bring to us.
Thank you.
Francesco Bassano.
Yes, I just would like to say thank you for Venus and Ruth, and thank you because they're writing on YouTube. Thank you for being here with us. Just 2 words about this painting. Yes, it's from 16th century. Abraham leaves Haran. What do we see here? Rodrigo.
Horse and gods on the clouds.
Yes, so to speak, the heavenly speech is manifested by a grandpa, which is like God's speech or speaking. You can think about this picture. It is beautiful, and I would like to thank all of you here who came. I mean, because it's an effort to come here, not just to appear in space and time, because it's like the conversation is very awake. It engages many languages, mathematics, lateral thinking, and so I would like to thank all of you for your participation here. Thank you so much, and we could meet here on Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Eti, Shelton.
Thank you so
Rodrigo,
much.
Venus,
Thank
Ruth,
you all.
and all.
Shalom.
Shalom,
See you
shalom.
Shalom,
Thank you
shalom.
so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Shalom, shalom.